into it with this one right here. We got the Mowgs winter chills. We got that winter chills, especially with Mowgs coming from the winter chills and him having his whole the chills to the winter, especially the winter and everything that was here, but now it's just loves winter chills. So we got the winter chills, and especially from most just anemic with this right here, especially him having his whole style too, and a lot of his different like lyrics mimics, they be coming from another story. So especially with he got the winter, so with everything else just really just and me minking to this right here, and then we especially with his whole thing and everything else just really taken into, but especially with his chills.
You swear Louis just sent me the beat.
I take it out, then I turn it to a win. How I thank God for blessings, even though that I still sin. Way before I ever put rocks on my wrist, I was up in old putting rocks on my strip. Money makes the world spin, dog, I thought you know that. Same shit will have you beefing all them niggas in your throwback. When I'm in the crowd, I'm never loud, I never say much. Cause niggas love to hate and rather stories that were made up. Reggie told me more, I just wanna see you shine.
Ooh, I like how he just puts his whole melody to it. He just puts it how it is, and he puts it how it is. Like he just coming from another and breaching. It's like he's keeping it like from 100. He's not coming from nothing, no fake or none of that. He's just coming in from all that, like that present. Like it's some deep. It's more than that deep. That deep present. It's like he's giving us something that's you can really like melt into, like you can actually clever into, like feel and breach into.
Money makes the world spin, dog, I thought you know that. Same shit will have you beefing all them niggas in your throwback. When I'm in the crowd, I'm never loud, I never say much. Cause niggas love to hate and rather stories that were made up. Reggie told me more, I just wanna see you shine. I don't want niggas round you thinking you could change their life. I'm from the jungle, so I know a snake when I see one. Gotta adapt to where I live, but I didn't wanna be one. You know how much I
Gotta adapt for where he's from and then everything else. And you know you from the jungle when you got all this stuff going on too, and you know you was in it, you was like you was around it, like it was just it found you. You didn't find it, and you just adapted with it, and it just took place. And now it's like that's where you came from. You came from the jungle, like you gotta adapt with it. It's still, and plus you still going back to it too, like no matter what, like you still going adapted to it. So it's like that's what you was and put into. So you just gonna always be in vain into it.
from the jungle, so I know a snake when I see one. Gotta adapt to where I live, but I didn't wanna be one. You know how much hours I took, I swear that I could write a book. I learned how to build a line before I learned to write a hook. There's times I get anxiety when I'm driving on my own. Probably why I'm popping pills every time that I'm alone. Man, it's so therapeutic when I rap on the beat. Niggas asking me for prices, they asking for a fee. Times I can't believe this shit is actually me. I'm everything I dreamed about when I was just a teen. Ambitions of a rider, turn that nigga to a lifer. And he ain't even live life with Joe as a minor. Man, the game's peak, little girls acting like they're grown, niggas 18. He jumped on the roads and got 18.
We get lost in these clouds, we gotta face it. Well, you know, it's like running away from yourself. We get lost in these clouds, we gotta face it. Well, you know, it's like running away from yourself.
My nigga got a 10 every day, is talking decat. I'm cheering up them lifers on the phone because they need that. I was up at the crack of dawn.
Ooh, and I like how he just puts the whole thing to it. Like he just said what it is. Like he said he cheering up the whole thing, like the in crowd too. Like sometimes you gotta put in like you gotta put more reinforcements into it because it's like you gotta get somebody where they actually want to be instead of not being where they want to be. Like it's sometimes you could be in your lowest and you know you cheering it up where it's like now they trying to come from the highest to the lowest. Like you can either come from both sides, or it could just be a one side. It's really up to the whole situation. Like especially how altercations come and everything else too, and everything else. Like it just comes into a whole thing. Like you got the whole thing, especially especially whatever you're around too, like that choir mate too. That really takes spot too. So it is really from where you hitting like yo things, and then especially his hit lines too. He got it. Like he got it. It's always major.
Pack the crack of dawn. When I was selling crack to dawn, I was never lazy. All I cared about was pats and phone. My life's like David and Goliath, cause I was throwing stones. Only difference is I was in the trap, never coming home. Boxes at the table, having combos with a label. I can't lie, my place forgot me thinking deal or no deal. Running from the old bell, just trying to make my own meal. She asked me why I'm circling my crib, my life is so real. What's the price I might can be? If not, I'll death for me. If you paying cash for the packs, I do you it for free. But I love them like my brother, man, I thought they felt the same. I know situation changed, now me and them are all strange. Am I dancing in the rain, diamond dancing in my chain. Got me sipping on this lean just to take the pain away.
We get lost in these clouds, we gonna face it. But you know, it's like running away from yourself. We get lost in these clouds, we gonna face it. But you know, it's like running away from yourself.
Je swear Louis just sent me the beat.
And he had a whole thing to it though. Winter chills though. I see why it came from winter chills, because you had a lot of different like breeze coming to it. Like you had where it's like it was a cold summer too. Because think about it, the whole summers it was wild too. It was wild like in the whole summertime. It was wild to see what was actually going on. It was like a lot of things going on. So it's like when you really think about it, it was a chill. It was actually chill. So especially from this right here, like it was just he didn't put so much like count numbers into it, and it really just made profit like the whole thing, especially how it just came from and everything else. But we got with Mopes, but make sure you guys definitely tune in with this one right here, and just with this one.